I'm tempted to take this pile and shuffle them, and then it'll be like a surprise. But instead, I'm just going to do this. Maybe I'll shuffle them next. Okay.
How will you shuffle A4s like cards?
Just throw them up in the air. Like my children do that all the time with playing cards, so why not? We're going to talk about Raido.
Raido.
Today, because it's a really good card. It's a really good illustration, and it's a really good rune. And the result is one of my favorites. And I think it's an easy conversation, somehow. It's about something that's never an easy conversation, because it's about death. We illustrated it, focusing a lot about the journey of life and death. Anyways, welcome to our Kickstarter. I'm here with Sarah, Galaxara,
hello,
who has illustrated all of these cards majestically. I'm Isar Oakman, and I came up with this weird direction of art and project and rune cards and all of that stuff. Where to take this? So I'll start by explaining the rune. Raido means journey, travel, sometimes wagon, chariot, if I remember correctly. I might be talking nonsense here. I'm not. I find it to be one of the runes that both has an ancient and very valuable modern interpretation. On an ancient level, being nomadic and moving about meant resources and food wherever you went because of nature. But once civilization took hold of the world, including Scandinavia, traveling became more of a thing done for. It had a much more direct connection to survival, because people lived in parts of the world, parts of Scandinavia and Greenland and Iceland, where you needed people to travel to you or travel from there to get food and get goods, but also bring your goods and valuables out of there to make money so that you could survive by buying food. Traveling was essential, be it by wagon or by ship. But Raido and ships and this whole journey thing and the wagon, it has, on a Scandinavian mythological level, this much deeper connection to death, life, rebirth. Even if you look at ancient Stone Age picture stones, you've got these depictions of ships and of wagons. You've got the Bronze Age sun wagon at the Copenhagen National Museum, which is a stunning piece of work. That to me symbolizes this whole idea of like the sun traveling across the sky, in this case being drawn in a chariot. And we know of this quite a primal goddess named Nerthus, that's like pre-Viking Age gods. Nerthus probably becomes Njord and Freya in like later iterations of the mythologies. But her priestesses were traveling around the land, pulled in these wagons from where they would bless the land, bless the harvest and all these things. And then if you look at grave goods, I'm sorry, I'm just rambling here, but this is...
It's a good podcast.
It is. It's a great single person podcast right now. If we look at grave goods and stuff like that, you have, for example, the Oseberg grave that has a wagon in it. We have many graves that has the bones and the remains of horses in it, means of travel and journeying. And the idea of being burnt on a ship, for example, which is very Viking Age, especially in like Hollywood cliches, but also gravestone settings that are shaped like ships. Some of them were built out of actual stone, a shape of stones, with an upside down ship placed upon it, with the human remains inside of it. There seems to be this very heavy connection of traveling, of journeying from one place to another. So, for the artwork, I wanted to encapsulate that. So what we have is, of course, a funeral ship, a Viking Age styled boat ship with a funeral pyre on top of it. You added antlers, which I really like. I don't remember why you did that, but you just did it, and I really enjoy it.
I just think cool. Like it's. I can't remember if I actually saw it in a movie or something, but to be honest with you, I just feel like when you have the usual pyres, when they like crisscross up, it's very disturbing for a design. While I think the antlers, this is more flowy, and you can make something more gracious to look at, not too harsh.
Mm.
So I really wanted to make that as the beauty of sending this warrior off to the next journey.
I really like it because it looks like he sort of wears a crown. Like it creates, you know, like a.
Didn't think of that.
It uplifts him as someone of higher standing, which if you were to have a ship burial, you would have been someone of societal higher standing.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So the horse, the ship itself has the head of a horse, and the woman on the depiction stands with a small child. So you've got death, birth, potential rebirth, as this whole journey on a dark night. And then there's only a single shield on the ship. I know there should be many if it was like a proper warship, but it needed to be graphic and elegant. And on the shield is depicted a raven that I designed, that you managed to squeeze in there with all the bloody details, very impressively. Particularly wanted a raven because of Odin's ravens, and because ravens are connected to death in battle and carrying messages to the gods and all these things. I felt there was the most suitable design on the shield. A Ringerike style raven on said shield. Color-wise, this is one of the more muted cards actually, because we've got less contrast here than we have in many of the other cards. But I do think that her bold red hair and the fire in the ship helps illuminate everything and pull it up. But I like that it's somber. I like that it's, you know, there's
it was on purpose, honestly, because I just think that it's about creating contrast between what it's actually about. So everything about the journey, the misty waters, the sky, leaving your homeland towards other shores has to be like the background, and then the true voice of this card comes from the fire in the ship, as well as her remaining with new life. So I felt like that should be the focal points.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
I really like it. You also managed to add some of your own. You've got this very particular thing that you've done it to some of the trees on other illustrations that you managed to put into the prow of the ship, which is funny because I haven't really noticed that until now, that, you know, a ship is made of the wood of the trees, and you've somehow managed to take the same form that you put in your trees and put it into something that would have been made of those trees. That's a bit strange. Very cool. Well done.
Thank you.
It's very like Art Nouveau-ish. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Well, I mean, I just really love that you challenged me also with ornaments on this one. It was simple, but the head of the horse was particularly hard to make it both wooden and dimensional at the same time. As you can see, the ship is more 2D-esque, I would argue, as well as but opposite to the pyre. So it was really about finding like the grace between two different art styles. I really loved that challenge throughout the whole collection of cards, honestly.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to sum this up. In case you're interested in getting this collection of cards, and not these A4, well, you might be able to. It might be something that ends up as a stretch goal, but the cards themselves and the book, don't forget to, you know, place your pledge, back the Kickstarter, and follow us for this weird journey. See you tomorrow for the next Rune. That's it. Fuck off.
Fuck off.